August 2014, 19-year-old Erin Robinson lost his temper after an older man allegedly stared at his fiancée's chest and made inappropriate comments at a convenience store in Wimauma, Florida. 2 days later, the man was dead. Erin claimed he acted in self-defense to protect his fiancée's honor. However, she later revealed the man hadn't said or done anything inappropriate. He had simply stood too close, making her uncomfortable. The relationship between Erin Robinson and Kayla Bryant was a complex tapestry woven with love, passion, and underlying tensions that would ultimately culminate in tragedy. Engaged to be married, the couple appeared to be on the brink of a new chapter in their lives. However, beneath the surface of their engagement lay a series of dynamics that would prove to be both challenging and tumultuous. On the hot and humid afternoon of August 11, 2014, in Wimauma, Florida, about 30 miles southeast of Tampa, Kayla, her mother, and her brother stopped at a Circle K convenience store while running errands. When her mother realized she'd forgotten her energy drink mix, Kayla offered to go back inside. As Kayla stood at the counter to check out, she asked the clerk for a pack of cigarettes. At that moment, 58-year-old Raul Ortiz approached her. The two were not strangers, as Ortiz had previously dated Erin's father's girlfriend, Danielle Reynolds. Security footage captured Ortiz glancing briefly in Kayla's direction, possibly at her chest or the counter. He then said something to her, though the audio was unclear, before walking away seconds later. Feeling overwhelmed and anxious, Kayla decided to call Erin, hoping to find solace and support in her fiancé. The urgency in her voice was evident as she recounted the encounter to him, emphasizing her discomfort and the need for him to come to the store. Erin, who had been grappling with his own insecurities and jealousy, reacted swiftly to Kayla's call, and he rushed to the Circle K, fueled by a mix of concern and anger. The emotional weight of their relationship, coupled with Erin's history of jealousy, set the stage for a volatile confrontation. As Raul Ortiz arrived at the store, his ex-girlfriend, Danielle Reynolds, happened to be driving by. Erin flagged her down and told her to warn Ortiz to stay away from his fiancée. By then, Erin was visibly agitated, drawing the attention of customers entering the store. Danielle called Ortiz and handed the phone to Erin. While the exact conversation is unknown, it was clearly heated, with possible threats exchanged and an agreement to settle the matter. After the call, Erin and Kayla drove to a nearby Dollar General. Some witnesses claimed Erin had started to calm down and was simply shopping for household items, while others said he grew angrier, believing Ortiz was rallying friends and family to confront him there. To prepare, Erin called his brother and a friend to join him, both for backup in case of a fight and to help keep his temper in check. The group waited for nearly 30 minutes, but Ortiz never arrived. Instead of letting it go, Erin decided to take matters into his own hands and drove to Ortiz's home on 12th Street, just minutes away. Once there, Kayla stayed in the truck while Erin, his brother, and his friend approached the house. What happened next remains unclear. There are conflicting accounts of the incident, but according to Erin, Mr. Ortiz emerged from his house, tore off his shirt, and punched him. The fight quickly became one-sided due to Erin's youth and strength. Erin overpowered Ortiz, rendering him unconscious almost immediately. During the assault, Erin reportedly slammed Ortiz's head against a rock in the yard. A neighbor, Kimberly Boyette, who had known Ortiz for years, witnessed the attack as she left for a church event. She saw Erin's friend and brother pull him off Ortiz's lifeless body before urging him to leave. Before fleeing, Erin allegedly threatened Boyette, saying he knew she saw everything, and warned her to stay silent. By the time authorities arrived, Erin and his companions were gone. About 2 hours after the incident at the Circle K, Raul Ortiz was found unconscious and severely injured in his front yard. He was covered in blood with multiple wounds, the most severe being on his face, head, and neck. Ortiz was rushed to South Bay Hospital nearby, but was later transferred to Blake Hospital in Brandon due to the severity of his injuries. That evening, detectives interviewed Erin and Kayla at their home to hear their account of the events. Both consented to have their vehicles searched and voluntarily went to the police station to provide statements. Erin admitted to a violent fight with Ortiz, claiming Ortiz had thrown the first punch, and that the altercation took place on the sidewalk outside Ortiz's home. Although detectives were uncertain about the truth of Erin's story, they clarified that he was not under arrest, was free to leave, and was not required to make a statement. Despite this, Erin willingly stayed to talk.
So here's my big question. What are our actions on? I earlier this evening when I got home off work or whatnot, my girlfriend and I, Kayla, went to Advance to park in her mom's truck, and she informed me of an incident with Raul, I'm not sure his last name, about him staring down her shirt and getting her off clothes from way too close. Their shoulders were touching, and he was like staring on her shirt and whatnot. And it upset me, so I had her take me to his house. I went to confront him. When I went to confront him, he came out of his house, pulled off his shirt, yelling at me. So I was standing in front of his gate. He opened his gate, so I took a step back. And we started arguing a few choice words. And he swung. When he swung, he connected, hit me right here inside the jaw. And when he did that, I swung back and I hit him 3 times. That is what I remember.
Okay. All right, well, let's go back. If that's where we remember too, then we'll start from where you remember from. So, Kayla said that he's been too close. Did you know Raul, or do you know who Raul is?
Yes, I know Raul.
How do you know Raul?
Through my basketball friend.
Okay, is this Danielle maybe?
Yeah,
okay.
Around.
And listening to Kayla said that it was Danielle. So.
Yes, I know.
So you know Raul through your dad's girlfriend?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. Is there, how does she know Raul, do you know?
Danielle?
Yes.
Oh, I have no clue.
No idea? Okay. So you asked her to take you there?
Yes, sir.
Did she take you there?
Yes, sir.
How did she take you there?
She drove me a truck.
She drove you in the truck?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Which truck?
Right at 150.
The red F-150 that was at the residence?
Yes, sir.
When we came and talked to you? Okay. She drove you to that place?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was there anybody else that went with you?
Yes, sir. My brother, Erin Robinson.
Okay.
And I kind of did his time on this bucket.
Okay.
Not his first one.
When you approached, where was Raul at?
He was coming off his front porch, taking off his shirt, and he started pointing fingers, so let me tell you something, and then he started saying something in Spanish. I don't understand Spanish.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure what he said.
Okay. And so, what did you say back to him?
I said, wonder why you always got, why you trying to mess with a young guy because she's only fucking 18 years old, this, that, and the other. And it's kind of what the words got said. I'm not 100% sure what got said, so. And then I guess he opened the gate, pushed it open. Like I said, I took a couple steps right, 2 steps right. We just kept arguing, and then he swung and got me in the jaw on the left side. Okay. And then I swung back.
Okay. All right. And you said you hit him 3 times?
Yes, sir.
Where did you hit him at?
In his face.
In his face?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was he staying up? Was he on the ground?
Before he hit the ground, I hit him 3 times.
Before he hit the ground, he hit him 3 times. Okay. When was that right? Because I've been to the house, so I'm trying to put it, because there's a little gate there. Yeah, absolutely.
Here's the road in front of his house. Here's his fence. There's like a little gate thing. And right here, he has a little concrete around his plant. We were standing right here. And all the altercation started, which was right here in front of the gate. So we opened the gate, I stepped back, I punched him, and when I hit him 3, as I was hitting him, fell back into the gate, and I hit him.
A few hours after Erin's release, Raul Ortiz's condition worsened. He lost all brain activity, was placed on life support, and tragically passed away on August 13th. An autopsy revealed extensive injuries, including multiple skull fractures, internal hemorrhaging, and teeth knocked into his throat. Notably, Ortiz had no defensive wounds, suggesting he was quickly incapacitated. His death was ruled a result of severe head and spinal cord injuries. Prosecutors charged Erin with manslaughter and witness tampering for allegedly threatening Kimberly Boyette. Despite the charges, he was released on bond and remained free for over 4 years. During that time, he and Kayla separated in 2017, and Erin started a new relationship, eventually having a child. However, his looming legal battle with Florida's strict justice system cast a shadow over his life. Erin's defense team argued he acted in self-defense under Florida's Stand Your Ground law, claiming Ortiz initiated the fight, and Erin felt his life was in danger. They contended the location of the altercation, on Ortiz's property or the sidewalk, was irrelevant. If the judge accepted this argument, Erin could face reduced charges or have the case dismissed. However, both the circuit court and an appellate court ultimately rejected the motion. Prosecutors later added a burglary charge against Erin, alleging he took items from Ortiz's home after the attack. Though it's unclear if anything was actually stolen, this charge was soon overshadowed when the manslaughter charge was upgraded to felony murder, carrying a mandatory life sentence without parole if convicted. Erin was rearrested over 5 years after Ortiz's death and remained in jail awaiting trial. In the fall of 2020, prosecutors offered Erin a plea deal, 15 years in prison, allowing him to be released before 40. Despite the risks of a first-degree murder conviction, Erin rejected the deal, opting to go to trial. Judge Samantha Ward ensured he understood the consequences of his decision. Erin pleaded not guilty to murder and burglary. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, most trials were postponed, but Erin's trial in October 2020 was among the first to proceed in person. Strict precautions were taken, including face shields and daily temperature checks. Once preparations were complete, the prosecution and defense delivered their opening statements.
Members of the jury, on August 11, 2014, one person died. One person died as a result of that defendant, Erin Robinson. Erin Robinson was upset. He went to the victim, Raul Ortiz's house, to get in a fight. You're going to hear from numerous witnesses today. The state's going to call Kimberly Boyette. She's going to tell you that she witnessed the fight. She saw Raul Ortiz get beaten. So beaten that his entire face was swollen, both eyes swollen shut. That when they went to go try to resuscitate him, they had to pull his teeth out of his throat. You're then going to hear from Deputy Donald Hess, who arrived first on scene, and he'll describe the scene to you. How there's blood on the grass, how the victim looked. You'll get to see those pictures. Then you're going to hear from Danielle Reynolds, and she's going to tell you the events leading up to it. What caused this defendant to kill Raul Ortiz? A minor incident between Mr. Ortiz and his girlfriend at a Circle K earlier that day. Approximately no more than 10 seconds sent that defendant into such a rage that he beat Raul Ortiz to death. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this was not self-defense. I anticipate that the defense is going to tell you about how Mr. Robinson was defending himself. Because when Raul Ortiz first came out, he swung with one punch. However, the issue is this. Once Mr. Robinson swung, he then stepped across the fence and the property line to continue to beat Mr. Ortiz while he was on the ground on Mr. Ortiz's own property. That defendant went looking for a fight. He was angry. He knew he was upset. You're going to hear testimony from Mr. Robinson's own mouth, and he's going to tell you that he has a history of occasionally blacking out. Ladies and gentlemen, the state submits to you this. This was not self-defense. This was murder. The defendant knew when he left that property, when he saw the victim on the ground, that he was in trouble. And he needed to leave, come up with a story. Something that would make sense to explain the extent of these injuries.
Okay, please the court, counsel. Good morning, members of the jury. August 11th, 2014 started like a day like any other for Erin Robinson. I expect that you're going to hear Mr. Robinson got up that morning. He went to work. He came home, changed his clothing, and then he went to run some errands with his fiancée at the time, Kayla Bryant. What we're going to learn is that during the time that he's running some errands, going to the Circle K, he hears about an interaction that Kayla Bryant had with Raul Ortiz earlier in the day. We're going to learn that Ms. Bryant told Mr. Robinson that she was at the Circle K and that Mr. Ortiz came into the Circle K and stood very close to her, tried to look down her shirt, made her feel very uncomfortable. And I anticipate that you're going to have a chance to actually see a video of the Circle K. One of the things that you may find is that Kayla Bryant may have exaggerated what happened at the Circle K. She may have been a little dramatic about what happened at the Circle K. But Mr. Robinson wasn't there. So all he knows is what Kayla Bryant told him. So we're going to learn that this all happens in a small area of town. It happens out in Wimauma, where everyone tends to know each other. Everyone tends to run into each other at places like the Circle K. What I expect you're going to hear is that as Ms. Bryant and Mr. Robinson are leaving the Circle K, they see Danielle Reynolds. And Ms. Reynolds happens to be Mr. Ortiz's girlfriend at the time. Because at the end of the day, what we're going to hear is that this was a fist fight. That Erin Robinson went over to Raul Ortiz's house to talk to him, to confront him, after Raul Ortiz indicated that he wanted to talk about what happened at the Circle K. And when Erin Robinson gets over there, I expect what you're going to hear is that Raul Ortiz comes running out of his house, takes his shirt off, throws it on a chair, opens and charges at Mr. Robinson, opens the gate at the front of the property, and I expect the testimony is going to be that Raul Ortiz hits Erin Robinson before Mr. Robinson ever lays a hand on Raul Ortiz. And there is not a single witness, not even Kimberly Blayette, who's going to say something different than that. And then you're going to hear that justifiable homicide is something that occurs in a situation like this, where there is a fist fight, no weapons, and unfortunately, someone dies. This was not the intent of Mr. Robinson. He never intended to kill Mr. Ortiz. He didn't go over to Mr. Ortiz's property to hit him, to hurt him. You're going to learn that he went over to Mr. Ortiz's property simply to talk to him.
The defense argued that Erin acted in self-defense, while the prosecution insisted it was a cold-blooded murder on that summer day in August 2014. The defense called Kayla Bryant to the stand, aiming to use her testimony and Circle K footage to portray Raul Ortiz negatively and partially justify Erin's actions.
At some point in that early afternoon, did you find yourself at the Circle K in Wimauma, Florida?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and were you there with your mom and your brother?
Yes, I was.
Was there a point in time where you were in that store by yourself without them?
Yes, I went back in.
Did you encounter someone that you knew at the time to be someone by the name of Raul Ortiz?
Yes, ma'am.
And regardless as to what happened in the Circle K, did you feel as though Mr. Ortiz was acting inappropriate towards you?
I felt if he was too close to me.
Okay, did that make you feel uncomfortable?
Yes.
But that wasn't how things played out when prosecutors cross-examined Kayla on Wednesday, October the 21st.
Yeah.
Having a hassle over. I'll stand over here if it helps. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Can we agree that out of all the people involved, you were in the best position to know if this was all making a fuss about?
Yes.
I mean, you were the person that was there at the Circle K earlier with Raul.
Yes.
You knew exactly how bad or not bad that situation was.
Yes.
You were the person who could have said, honey, you know what? It's not worth it. It's not a big deal. Let it go. This is really getting out of hand.
Yes.
And you knew that the entire way as all this is progressing.
Yes.
Did he just ask you, are you going to buy cigarettes?
I heard cigarettes, but I couldn't quite understand the rest.
So clearly, he's not saying anything sexual to you if he's talking about cigarettes, right?
No.
In fact, the very next thing that happens as he walks away is he yells to the clerk, she's too young to buy them, isn't that?
Yes.
So he's trying to tell the clerk not to sell you cigarettes because he thinks you're buying cigarettes. Mm-hmm. There's nothing sexual happening in this moment, is there?
No.
Kayla eventually admitted that Ortiz had not said anything inappropriate or sexual, only asking if she was buying cigarettes. Prosecutors then focused on Erin's reaction, after Kayla told him about the alleged incident at the Circle K. While Kayla and the prosecutor initially disagreed about whether Erin was angry or just upset, her testimony ultimately suggested she had exaggerated or even fabricated the encounter. Erin remained stoic, but it must have been painful to hear that he took a life based on her account, knowing it could cost him his freedom. A key moment came when Ortiz's neighbor, Kimberly Boyette, testified for the prosecution. Boyette, who had known Ortiz for nearly 40 years, stated she witnessed most of the fight and saw Erin throw the first punch.
Can you give me a rough idea in years?
Well, I'm 53 now, so it was like maybe when I was 14, 12, between 12 and 14 years.
So roughly 40 years you lived there?
Yeah.
Have you known Mr. Ortiz to be your neighbor across the street there for the entire time?
Yes.
Did you become friends with him?
We talked and later on we became friends.
Okay, and sometimes people are friends like we're just neighbors, we say hi to each other, and sometimes people are more social, they hang out, they
Yeah, he used to come over and give the kids snacks and stuff.
So he was a friend of your family,
Yeah.
not just your neighbor?
No.
Okay. So you recognize two of the three men that are getting out of these trucks as James and Erin.
Yeah.
Now the person that you know is Erin Robinson. I want you to look around the courtroom and see if you see anyone that you know to be Erin Robinson.
Over there.
Okay, and for the record, could you please describe what that person is wearing so we know who you're talking about?
A suit.
Okay, can you tell me the color?
It looks black from here.
Okay, and can you tell me the color of his shirt maybe?
It's light blue.
Okay, Your Honor, I'd ask that the record reflect that she has identified the defendant, Erin Robinson. Yes. Now, specifically when I ask you about what people are doing, I'm squarely focused on Erin Robinson, okay?
Yeah.
As Erin gets out of the truck, along with James and the other boy, the other man, tell me what Erin is doing. How's he acting? What's he saying? Those sorts of things.
He was acting mad, took his shirt off, and acting real mad.
Okay. So he's mad and he's taking his shirt off.
Yeah.
Based on what he's saying, can you tell who or what he's mad about?
Wanting to argue with Raul.
Okay.
Yelling things at Raul.
And what sort of things, if anything, do you remember him yelling at Raul?
I only remember saying motherfucking son of a bitch and taking his shirt off.
As he's saying those curse words, does he seem to be saying them in the direction of Raul?
Yes.
Okay, he's not just like yelling them into the air, is he?
No.
All right. As he's taking off his shirt and he's saying these curse words, where is he going or where is he moving to?
Toward Raul's place.
Okay, and where specifically?
Toward the front of the gate.
Okay.
To the, coming off of Dina onto the sidewalk to his gate.
Now, when they get to the gate, what if anything happens? Do they stop at the gate or do they keep moving on?
They just went on into the gate.
Now, I want to be real clear about this. These guys get out of the truck, they take off their shirts, they're yelling, Erin's screaming, cursing, whatever. They get to the gate. Is somebody waiting for them at the gate to let them in, or do they just come in?
They just come on in.
There's nobody letting them in?
No.
As they come into the fence, do they still appear angry or aggressive?
They was mad.
Mad, okay. And as you're watching all of this happen, tell me what you see happen next.
Raul walking toward them, like by the tree, and then they started fighting.
All right, I want to help the jury understand your testimony very specifically. Here states 3B. When you say Raul starts walking towards them, is there any point at which Raul gets to Erin and the boys outside the fence, or does everything happen inside?
Inside. Yes, right there.
Okay, that's obviously not Raul standing in that picture though.
No.
But is that person in roughly the area where the fight is occurring?
Yes.
So does this roughly approximate the view that you have of the people and the things that would be in the way as far as the chain link fence and whatever foliage is on the fence?
Yes.
As you're watching the fight through the fence and the foliage there, describe what you see happening to Raul.
He was getting beat. He was getting punches thrown at him, kicking.
Now, when you say that he's getting punches and kicks thrown at him, is he on the ground the entire time?
Yes.
Do you ever see him get up and start throwing punches back?
No.
Once he goes to the ground, does he always stay on the ground?
Yes.
Who can you see is attacking Mr. Ortiz?
Erin Robinson.
And can you describe the position of Mr. Robinson as he's attacking Mr. Ortiz?
He was over top of him.
Over top of him, like, is he standing up bent over? Is he down on his knees?
He
Describe
bent
it.
over. Bent over.
So he's bent over, and describe the motion that you see Mr. Robinson doing as he's bent over on top of Mr. Ortiz.
Throwing punches.
So can you see his arm going back and forth?
Yes.
Can you see it do that multiple times?
Yes.
As you're that distance from Mr. Robinson, I want you to describe what you see about his physical appearance.
He had spots of blood on him.
Spots of blood on him where?
On his hands.
Okay. You mean like the outside, the inside? What could you tell?
Outside.
Would you say a lot of blood or a
Around the
little
knuckles and,
bit? On the knuckles?
yeah.
Would you say a lot of blood, a little bit of blood? Like, are we talking about like one drop or like there was more than one?
Just few spots of blood. Not a lot, but
And as Mr. Robinson is walking back to the truck and you're, I don't know, 6 or 10 feet away from him, does he look at you?
yes.
And what, if anything, does he say or do when he looks at you?
He told me I didn't see nothing. What? No.
Okay, and when he says, I didn't, well, if you can, I want you to say the words as best as you remember specifically, because I don't want to misquote you.
You didn't
Asked
see,
and answered. Use his words.
you didn't see me.
Okay, Erin says, you didn't see me. Does he say anything else?
He said, I know where you live.
I know where you live.
You've given quite a few different statements to different people about this case, is that right?
No.
No? How many times have you talked to someone about this case?
Why you mean?
Okay, well, I'll break it down actually. So on August 11th, did you talk to law enforcement officers?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you spoke to the detectives back on August 11, 2014, you actually told her that 4 or 5 people got out of the pickup trucks. Is that right?
No, I don't remember. I know I did say there was 3 or 4, which I was talking about the black car.
Mr. Diaz asked you earlier about some words that Mr. Robinson, Erin Robinson, had with you before he left that day. Do you remember talking about that?
What I say earlier?
Right. So you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. You told Mr. Diaz that Mr. Robinson said something along the lines of, "Don't say anything, I know where you live."
Yes.
Okay. Today here in this courtroom, that's the first time you've ever told anyone Mr. Robinson said, "I know where you live." Isn't that right?
No.
You think you've told that to someone else before?
It was in my statement.
Which statement?
The statement.
Well, we've gone over, you've given a couple of different statements, so was it your statement that you gave to the detective?
I don't remember X and one of them.
Okay.
I have 5 minutes. Right. Just get some water.
I'm sorry?
Get some water.
Sure. You got her a little water, maybe from that jury room back there? Thank you.
I need to take a
Are any of
break.
these full? Pardon?
I need to take a break. Take a,
Okay. Any? All right. Take the jury out.
it's just getting too weak.
Okay, well, you didn't cry during any of the time that Mr. Diaz was questioning you. So
but
I'm just wondering what's making you upset now.
I don't know.
Okay.
I get this way.
All right. Well, Deputy Walker will take you back to that jury room over there where you can sit and relax and have a glass of water. But, just like when Mr. Diaz was questioning you,
I know it's the same.
Ms. Dunker has, the right to ask you
Yes, I
questions
know.
as well.
I
So
know. It's just,
If you don't remember an answer,
Right.
you don't remember an answer. You're sworn to tell the truth,
Yeah.
so you need to tell the truth
Yeah.
about what it is that you
Yeah.
remember.
yes, that's
Okay.
what I know. I just,
All right, Deputy Walker will take you back for a couple of minutes.
Her testimony gave the prosecution a significant advantage. The detective who interviewed Erin and Kayla after the fight testified, admitting he couldn't personally identify Ortiz's property in a photo taken from Kimberly Boyette's yard. However, he confirmed that no weapons or foreign objects were used during the altercation. Both sides faced challenges during the trial, but the defense suffered a major setback when Erin's brother testified. He admitted that while at the Dollar General after the Circle K incident, Erin told him he intended to fight Ortiz.
Your brother did not tell you standing in the parking lot of the Dollar General that what he wanted to do was to go fight Raul, and then you had to talk him out of it and tell him he couldn't do that?
Not that I remember, no, sir.
Do you remember being interviewed by the police on August 12th,
Yes, sir.
2014? You were standing, I think, outside next to your truck being interviewed by two detectives. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir. I was standing by my stairs.
Okay, and when they asked you about what the conversation was between you and your brother at the Family Dollar, didn't you tell them that my brother said he wanted to fight? And I'm like, if you really want to fight, that you really can't do that. Isn't that what you told the police?
Yes, sir. I remember that.
So within 24 hours of the incident happening, being interviewed by two police officers, your brother's already been arrested. What you told him is your brother wanted to go fight.
Originally,
Right?
yes, sir.
In the end, they reached a unanimous verdict in just 5 hours.
State of Florida versus Erin Robinson, case number 14CF 11818A. We, the jury, as to count one of the indictment, find as follows. The defendant is guilty of first-degree felony murder as charged. We, the jury, as to count two of the indictment, find as follows. The defendant is guilty of burglary as charged. During the commission of the crime, did Erin Robinson commit a battery against Raul Ortiz? Yes.
Erin was promptly escorted out of the courtroom and transferred to the Hillsborough County Jail, where he awaited his sentencing hearing set for the following month. In many ways, the hearing was a mere formality, as both Erin and his lawyer were well aware that the murder conviction carried a mandatory life sentence. However, the sentencing was delayed until the spring due to a COVID-related lockdown at the jail where he was temporarily held. On May 18th, Erin was officially informed that he would spend the remainder of his life imprisoned at the Graceville Correctional and Rehabilitation Facility in Jackson County, Florida. If you found this video informative and would like to see more captivating cases, please subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you.